and associates. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of BPM, where Bro Punch Me takes place on a daily basis, because that's just how we roll. I am Papa Bear, a.k.a. Blaine. To my left is Jan the photographer.
Hello.
And to my right is Trevor the musician.
Ooh, woo.
Ooh, woo. So for episode 15, we are exhausted, and you would not believe how exhausted we are. We're not going to tell you why we're exhausted.
But we're exhausted.
But we're exhausted.
And that's all you need to fucking know.
So many bros punching me. It's just, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm just worn out.
Bro. So many bros.
So
punching
many bros
you.
punching me. Anyway, yeah, we're really tired, so if our jokes are lame, blame Jan. Anyway,
yes,
you are the king of the dad jokes.
I ain't fucking arguing shit here. That's perfectly true.
Hey there, Delilah.
I'm finishing that one.
Nope.
Sweet Jesus. Anyway, this is episode 15, and for episode 15, we decided that we wanted to come to you and discuss showmanship.
And why you suck at it.
Oh,
Whoa,
man,
bro.
that's
that was
harsh.
fucking harsh right out the gate.
Right out the gate. Why you got to talk to the kids like that, man?
Yeah, dude.
Trevor's going to cry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, he's stepping up his game right away. That's some showmanship right there.
Oh, Lord Almighty.
I fucking hate you.
Love you too.
So, one of the biggest pet peeves in live music is showmanship. And, God damn it, guys, are we doing this or are we not?
I'm trying.
No, we're not trying at all.
Okay. Well, okay.
Are we getting back on focus?
Yeah, we're getting back on focus.
We're getting back on focus. All right. Anyway, so showmanship. It's one of the biggest pet peeves in the music scene as it stands. So what we wanted to kind of do today was kind of talk a little bit about showmanship and how you can make it a little bit better, and to kind of look for key signs to know if you're kind of not doing it. So it's one of those things where not everybody thinks that, like, the same level of showmanship. So, like, I kind of want to go over that first. What do you consider showmanship to be, Trevor?
Showmanship for me is not only just performing, but also putting on a show while you're performing, whether it be stage antics, your stage performance, your stage props. But, I mean, props don't really play into that because that's more of like a prop. But it just, for me, showmanship is when you get on stage, what you are doing to captivate the crowd.
Okay. And, Jan, what do you consider showmanship to be?
I mean, from a fan's perspective, it's what makes me enjoy your show, even if I don't enjoy your music. From a photographer's perspective, it's what makes these still images portray the fact that this was an awesome gig.
Okay. So for me, what showmanship is if, like, kind of like what you guys were saying, is if you don't even enjoy the music, there's something that's still so entertaining in front of you that you can't deny that there is prowess to be enjoyed while at that event. Yeah. So for me, it's kind of like, it can be things from, like you were saying, like stage antics, and props can be a part of the showmanship. It's just a matter of how you're utilizing them. A lot of props are mostly just for still base, but a lot of them are utilized in what makes the show at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, you are Captain Dadbot. You are a prop.
I am a prop. So it's kind of one of those things where we consider it not just about stage antics, though. It's also about how you guys perform as well. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to really go see bands anymore where they just stand there and they play their instrument. They want to see something that captivates them and wows them. Any band out there can play music. That's why they're a band. Whether it's good or bad, that's a whole nother conversation. But every band goes up and they play their music. Right. Now, one of the things that I can kind of relate this to is, if anybody remembers Godsmack back in the day, holy crap, Sully used to just stand there and not do anything. He was like a statue. And then he finally figured out that, you know, I've got to move around a bit. I've got to do something. But his wasn't silly antics or craziness. It was, I got to move around the stage. I've got to interact with my crowd. I've got to interact with my bandmates. He started playing his drums because he was a drummer before he became a singer. Started doing things like that. Just things that kind of make it more dynamic and unique and not just 3 to 5, 10 dudes standing on stage. Slipknot.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was like, whoa, 10 dudes in Godsmack? What are they?
But just not being a group of people going up on stage and just standing there and playing the music. There has to be more to it than that. If that was the case, they'd just buy your album and be content with that. And that can make or break people coming out to your shows as well, because it's one of those things. Nobody wants to see what they've already heard. Yep. If there's nothing different to it, what's the point of doing it?
No, it adds value to your performance. It adds value to your band. It adds value to your name on the placard.
Exactly.
It's part of why people go to shows, is to see a show.
Right.
Oh, did you see this band's performance, dude? They put on a killer live show. That 10 out of 10, that's going to make me want to check them out.
10 out of 10, that's the reason why I like booking certain bands, is because if nothing else, even if people have heard them, 10 times to Sunday, it's one of those things where it's like they still love the performances that they put on, because it's always something fresh and new.
Yeah.
There's bands that
makes sense.
That I try and photograph over other bands because I know they put on a performance and a half. And I'm like, yeah, fuck, I want to see them perform.
Exactly.
I want to capture this. Like, I want this band in my portfolio as a photographer.
Exactly. And it's also, like you were saying, too, it gives a way to display to the world that it's like with your stills or with how they present themselves in their online presence. Like, you can show people that you are something to come and want to see.
And that, too, is, if you got a couple of people at the venue and they got their phones out and they're going to take some videos of you so they can post it on their Facebook, you know what?
Snapchat.
Your audio is going to suck.
Right.
Because it's recorded on a phone in a venue, not in a studio on professional audio equipment. That audio quality is not going to do your band justice. But the visual quality of a performance is still going to be there, and somebody's going to see that Facebook stream or video and be like, oh, crap. These guys, they kick some ass.
Yeah.
Like, they go at it. This is cool. I want to see this sometime. And that's the kind of thing where I'm like, damn, you want to show that. You want to show that energy level. You want to show a reason to come to your show.
Exactly. And for some people, it is differences in things. So, like Steak Sauce Mustache, we talk about them all the time. And the reason is because they are crazy, over-the-top antics. Like, theirs is a madhouse in front of you. Literally
a
happening.
fucking madhouse.
And it's one of those things where it's like they've got props. Their whole band is just going insane with each other. They're always moving. They're always doing something. That's not necessarily the case. One of my favorite things is, like I was kind of talking with these guys about a little while ago, is I love the fact that in my band, my guitarists, they know certain points in songs that they can reach over and do the fret work for the other guitarist while still strumming their guitar. Those little things stand out. I see that, and that's like, wow, that's dope. I don't see a lot of bands doing that.
And it comes down to small things, I know bands where, guitar players look at each other switch positions on stage.
That was one of my
simple, but it's effective. It's a little bit of extra engagement.
One of my favorite guitar players. His name is Yusuf Johnson. He's from Hermiston. He used to play in a band called Enterprise Earth, and that dude was an animal. And they play like super technical, gnarly death metal. And he's like doing his sweeps and shit. And then he looks over at Robbie, and he just nods at him, and they like run at each other. And like Robbie ducks down and jumps over him while doing a sweep. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. And it's people climbing on gear and playing on top of there, standing on some kind of eagle riser.
Yeah, something like that.
Or grabbing Papa Bear and making him crouch down and get on his shoulders while they play their wireless guitar around the room.
Or if you have
Papa Bear shoulders.
If you have that kind of connection with someone at the venue, do it. Why not?
Why do you need a connection? There are so many people who are down to do that kind of thing.
Right, but I would not recommend jumping on somebody's back if you don't know them.
No, but usually so the first time Brett ever did that to me, he actually looked at me and he's just like, and I was like, what's up? And he tapped my shoulders, and I was like, oh, he wants on. So I spun around and I did it. We didn't have any communication about anything.
But he roughly had an idea of who you were, and he's seen you perform your set.
No, I didn't perform with Steak Sauce. They've never seen me perform. Remember? Because
that's right.
Taylor was saying that he'd love to perform with my band sometime because we're another crazy antic band. Just like them.
Now, you mentioned that is true.
So
but
now that Jan is a liar, we can actually call him out.
He has, at that point, the first time that they played one of your venues, they saw you interact with the guys from Faust.
Oh, yeah. So they probably... Faust or Foes?
Faust.
Is that how they pronounce it?
F-A-U-S?
F-A-U-S.
Oh, yeah, I'm mixing up the two bands. Oh, yeah.
They did play with Foes as well.
They did play with foes as well, which is that's why I'm confused. I'm just like,
no, Faust was the guy who was literally crawling under people's chairs at the Eagles venue here in Kennewick.
And then the other one they also had a show with was American Standards, and those guys were insane too. But again, I mean, it doesn't always have to be to that level. I mean, it can be just being like, if you are a god on the guitar, show that you're a god on the guitar. Right. You know, make yourself highlighted out in the center front. Get on those ego risers. Like, show people what it is that you're doing that's going to just blow their mind. And another great one is Meredith Henderson from Victims. Her playing the drums. She will stand on her throne and just beat the shit out of her kit, and it is amazing to watch. It's not much. She's really just hitting the cymbals to like solid hits or to the breakdowns, but it's so cool to watch her do it.
Oh heavens! Now I can't remember the name of them. I will find you guys, and I will put your name somewhere on this.
It's Lust for Glory.
It's a band from Spokane. They also have a female drummer who's absolutely awesome, and she pours liquid onto her kit.
Oh, so it gets the splatters when it hits?
She's got lights underneath it.
Yeah.
And it's simple stuff like that. And I'm like, holy crap, it's showmanship for days.
Right. And a lot of that can be your lights. A lot of that can be, things that you don't personally have to do, but you're letting equipment do it for you. And that's kind of why I said that props can be a big factor in that, is because they can play that part.
It depends on how you use them, though. Like how you're explaining right now, it depends on how you use your prop. If it's just there stationary, then it's their stationary.
One of my favorites too for our locals is JJ Turner. He's a drummer for Zon and the Festering.
Yeah.
And he puts lights all over his kit, so when he's hitting stuff, it reacts with it.
Oh, that's dope.
I love that shit. And it's just simple little things. You just got to think outside the box of what can I do that makes me stand out from the rest.
And honestly, it's one of those things to think of yourself not as a band, but as a promotional entity. Let's say somebody's going to capture your whole show and they have to select one frame. Could that be a magazine cover?
Yeah.
Think of that for yourself. Okay, look, what can I do that would be cool? And there's so many classic guitar players who are just intense about their guitar play, who put their soul out on the stage, and they make it to the cover of magazines because they're awesome. And that's a form of showmanship as well. It doesn't always have to be over the top fancy. It's just, if you are able to put your heart out there and it shows, shit, man, that's awesome.
One of the things that I always like to advise to bands too, if you can afford it. Now, I get it that if you're a starting out band, this isn't always an option for you, but there's so much more tech out there these days that can make your life so much easier, and it's becoming cheaper with time. Go wireless. I cannot express to you enough how much that makes a difference, that you can just get out there with your crowd and have some fun with them. Everybody loves to look up and be like, yeah, this band's kicking ass. This band's kicking ass. One of the first kids that I saw really start doing that was Jacob Vaneau. He is huge on that. He will get on his guitar and it's wireless, and you will just see him start running the whole arena.
Well, yeah, he also has 8 feet of hair trailing in the wind behind him when he does that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's Maybelline, but it's one of those things where. Well, Maybelline's makeup, isn't it?
Yeah. L'Oreal's probably the one.
Pantene Pro V.
Shut that whore mouth up.
I know.
Anyway, avocado for hair.
Hey, man, it fucking works wonders. I'm telling you what.
Yeah, I know.
You got coily, curly hair like me, throw some avocado in that bitch, and it's just a whole nother world.
Mine's actually honey-based, so.
Oh, see, my conditioner is honey-based.
Yeah, so. Hair Products 101 with Papa Bear and Associates.
Fucking hipsters.
Well, you have to shower first to make something happen there.
That's the point.
We're joking. He's very cleanly. We live with him. We know.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things, go wireless. If you can do it, I cannot stress it enough. As a singer, as a guitar player, the only person who really can't do it is a drummer. And if somebody is doing that wirelessly, like you've got a marching band kit that you can go out with and fucking go to town with.
I would love to see that.
I mean, it's just...
and that one too is Slipknot's a great example.
Yep, it is. It is. But it's one of those things, get creative with it. Get get outside of the box. Everything that you love about your idols, think about how you could do that, but to the next degree. And
put your own spin on it too. Yeah, that's for sure.
It's one of those. Well, that's where the next degree is. Yeah. It's like that's where you're taking it and you're owning it at that point. Yeah. If you're just going to continue to just play music, and do not get me wrong, I love a lot of bands that just get up there, play their music, do their thing, get off stage. Cool. They're the band that I'm going to buy their CD. And I hate to say this in this way because I'm an avid music lover and I will go to any show any day of the week.
He's not lying.
But I don't want to see the same thing over and over again. There are some bands where I've gone and I've seen them 10, 15 times and it's the same show every time. I don't have, okay, he's wearing a different shirt. You know, maybe.
Now, if he was wearing pigtails.
Oh man, maybe that could mix things up. You know, I wish there was bands that did that.
I've been taking a lot of inspiration for you, and with our post-COVID comeback, it's going to be a whole different ball game.
It's going to be a whole different ball game. I am going to make things happen with pigtails. But
but you wanted to talk hair products, motherfucker? Let's go.
Let's do it.
Oh my God.
I stroke each strand about 50 times.
Wow, you really do
know. No, hair.
But it's one of those things. Just consider wireless. Wireless goes such a huge way for that kind of stuff. And you would be surprised that you don't even have to really do anything different while you're in the crowd. It's just you went in the crowd. And that like blows people's minds. And it's
just small request as a photographer.
Watch out for the photographer.
Well, yeah, watch out for me for one. But don't spend the whole show off stage. If you go to a venue with lights, those lights are there to highlight you when you're on the stage.
Yes.
I'm not getting good photos of you without lights. Please spend some time on the stage with the rest of your band.
And that's important too. I mean, it's one of those things for the showmanship for a show. It's great for your crowd. If you're trying to get photos that night, I am with him on that. Go ahead and like maybe spend a little bit of time on the floor with your crowd, but you don't have to be the whole time down there. That's actually one of my biggest follies is that because I am wireless and I am a crazy asshole, I like to spend a lot of time on the floor, but I am like rousing everybody out there too.
And not only is he doing that, he's stripping at the same time.
Yes.
And on the plus that I can literally kick you back on your stage.
Yes.
You'll stay there for like 30 seconds. That's enough for me.
Right. And that's the thing is like, even though I like to go on the floor and I like to play with people, I will get back up there and I will make sure that I know if I've got some power parts that are coming to get up there so that way I can have like those upward holding the mic poses or those like hard slam down like gutturals that you try to go for but you fail constantly, Blaine, so quit trying to do gutturals.
Quit hating on yourself.
I'm always my worst critic. It's all good. Everyone says we're great and I just like it could be better. But I think that goes for any musician. But more or less, it's one of those things where it's just get out there, have some fun. One of the favorite things that I like to do, so I like to get props. I love props. I like getting things like silly string, beach balls, having little things that I can have people interact with. Like, so I wear a cape for my Captain Dad Bod costume. If I know it's somebody's birthday, hey, you're going to adorn the cape tonight, and I expect you to be moving around, and I want to see that cape flowing in the wind. It's just one of those. What? It's the truth. I want to.
It absolutely is.
I'm just in here.
You should get out of there. That's not a safe place.
It is not.
Safe spaces don't exist in our mind.
No, they don't.
But it's one of those things where it's just like anything that I can do to interact with people to get them involved is so much more important to me than just being like, I've got to be a badass, brutal dude. No, I'm an idiot. I'm a goofball and a half.
So something that I like to do at our shows when nobody's moshing and like nobody's stealing fists or anything, because that's what we're about. I'll be like, all right, so none of you want to mosh? All right, I need like you to hug him to hug him. Everybody just start hugging each other.
And that's good crowd interaction. And it's stupid, it's cheesy, and when you look back on it, like, it's like, man, did I really do that? But then you think about it, it's like, well, 15, 20 people just did it. So, I mean, I guess something didn't go wrong.
Somebody they knew.
Exactly.
But the thing, too, is when we're talking about, not having to be brutal and serious all the time, you can be that, too.
Oh, yeah.
And that's okay. And that can still be, like, a good performance act. You can do a lot with that. There's bands whose whole image is just being dark and serious.
Oh yeah,
totally.
There's honestly one of my favorite vocalists, Roy Khan, former singer of Camelot, he just kind of moves erratically on the stage like he's being electrocuted nonstop while he's singing. It's like he's in constant pain while he's doing it, but my God, does that man put on a show that way?
Yeah.
And it works for him. And it's not goofy. It's not, like, funny, but it's definitely showmanship. Like, holy crap, that guy goes out there.
Oh, yeah. No, one we brought up a couple episodes back, maybe, or maybe it was I don't remember if it was the last one or a couple ones back. But, oh, man, I completely blanked on her name. The band's name was dating Power Man 5000 Spider.
Knee-High Fox.
Knee-High Fox, thank you. Oh, I wanted to say Spider something. I was like, no, that's who she's dating. But their whole shtick was black lights and then doing like really cool paint effects with it.
Just I was going to bring
cool
that up
shit.
because of Joey Jordison's new band that you showed me.
Wednesday 13.
Yeah, Wednesday 13. That shit's sick.
So he takes a bunch of like dipped, cut up rags and stuff, and he pulls them out of a box that's just a bunch of them in glow in the dark paints, and then he pulls them out and then he like rubs them on his body so he gets different colors all over him, and then sometimes he'll like leave them on himself and then he'll like act like he's peeling skin off himself and throw it into the crowd.
That's so dope.
It sounds cheesy as shit,
but it looks
it works.
dope as fuck.
It really does look sick.
And it's just you don't always have to do that. Now granted, let's say you don't want to use paints or props or anything like that. Who is the band? I'm blanking the name again. The bigger African-American gentleman. Filth. Oh my damn.
Dustin.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That dude is, if you want to talk about a dude who makes you feel like you're staring at the devil possessing somebody at that moment, that dude knows how to like widen his eyes, roll his eyes in the back of his head. Just looks like he is being
and it's
possessed.
not like the half-ass like up eyelids. Like he actually rolls his eyes back. I don't know how he does it, but it's fucking insane looking. And their music videos are over the top too.
Yeah. A quick shout out there too to Sevidemic.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap, that guy goes hard on the stage, too. And he has very simple props, but he has so much energy when he's interacting with them. You know, he takes that mannequin on the stage and just, you know,
his
beats
girlfriends.
the ever-living shit out of him.
Yep. He always asks if anybody wants to touch his girls.
Yeah.
His mannequins.
Something that I miss stage performance-wise is older, like, post-hardcore pop-punk bands, like Under Oath or the Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza, and, like, the seizure era of like playing and like freaking out. I love that shit. That shit's like nostalgic as fuck to watch.
And what's fun for me too is I wanted to go into this one as well, is when you were bringing up like the pop punk and stuff like that. Those guys were amazing for learning how to twirl their guitars, tossing them in the air and catching them and then playing again, doing the stuff where they're interacting with each other
like I
all
was
the
explaining
time.
that Seize the Sun band, how they just launch their guitars in the air.
I would hate to be their roadies though.
Oh well, they break guitars every night.
Yeah.
Now they have the money to do that. Obviously,
But
don't go
they-
breaking your gear all day.
That like we were talking about tour gear versus home gear. They don't bring out their Paul Reed Smith $3,000 guitar. No, they bring out a Squier Fender Stratocaster because if they drop that, it's $200.
Right. And what most of those guys will do too is they'll just put the better pickups into those, and then if the
Exactly.
guitar breaks, cool, pull out the hardware, put it into
Yeah,
the
no,
next one,
yeah.
and you're done.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, it's not like they're bringing out like fucking Sterling Music Mans and shit and throwing those around.
On that note, though, that era, you know, I was just right before we were doing this, I was watching a video on early Papa Roach performances. I'm like, man, those guys went fucking hard.
yeah.
So much energy.
As
And-
much shit as everyone gives them, Tool, they put on one hell of a show too.
Yeah.
So Tools is more of a trippy psychedelic kind of a
Yeah.
thing, which
But it's show.
is another form of showmanship that I really enjoy. Primus
Laser
is
Floyd.
another
Yeah,
good one for that.
Primus.
But
Fucking Laser Floyd.
but it's one of those things where it's like there are so many avenues for you to do it. Like I said, your lights, you know, Sins and Sinners, they bring out a projector screen, and they have a projector that's playing certain videos that they've mixed together behind them that really emphasize on the songs that they're playing. Rob Zombie's really big on that too. He'll have videos playing on the sides at all times that are his old retro horror theme kind of stuff, and it adds a flair.
See, when it comes to that, I think one of the most over-the-top productions that I've ever gotten to photograph was Babymetal. And they have such trippy... They have massive LCD screens behind them playing effects that tie into their choreographies, and it's completely over the top.
We went on a Babymetal kick the other day for like, what, an hour? Just watching their
I
videos.
did it for a lot longer than that.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things where I'm like, holy crap, you know? musically, even if it's not for you, you got to respect the show they put on.
Oh,
That
yeah.
is a production. Holy crap.
Yeah, and it's just taking that time to think about what is something you can give to your audience more than just the music. And that's really what it comes down to. There are so many facets of how you can do it. And as you can hear from us talking about it, there are so many ways you can do it. It can be lights. It can be props. It can be anything. It can be just you interacting as a band.
It could even be wearing a matching outfit. I mean, I know it's kind of played out in like the deathcore, hardcore scene, but I still love to see like a deathcore band hop up on stage and they've all got the same custom windbreaker on or something like that. Even though it's so played out in Adidas and this and that, even though I rep Adidas quite literally every day, it's still something that I like to see because it shows me as the audience that you guys are putting something into your
It's intentional.
show. You know, it's like, it's not like, oh, we just showed up and he's wearing this, he's wearing this, he's wearing this. We're going to play like 7 songs and go home. No, you guys actually took the time to like choreograph and like plan out what you're going to do for the night. And to me, as an audience member, even outside of being a musician, that speaks wonders because it shows me that you're putting the work into your show.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things, too, is if you have bands that you idolize as a musician, you know, you're like, holy crap, you know, I love Guns N' Roses. I love Pantera. I love Lacuna Coil. Whoever the heck you love.
Oh, Lacuna Coil.
Lacuna Coil puts on a hell of a show.
Do they?
Yeah.
I've never
Yes.
seen them live.
Yeah,
Yes,
no, they go
they do.
wild. Especially because they typically have one member of the band who is not actively performing. Like, they're not singing. They're not... they'll have somebody hyping up the crowd nonstop. They go hard when it comes to that. And honestly, synchronized windmills and everything, too. Like, I love it. And it's one of those things where if you take your favorite band, go watch their live music videos. Especially the tour videos, because they're going to take their highlights, their best moments of their own crowd performances, and look at them, like, what are they actually doing? What can you learn from that?
That's
and
a
what
good
can you
idea.
apply to your own set?
Well, and a lot of that stuff, too, one thing we haven't touched yet is synchronized motion. Like
Yes.
you were talking about with the windmill hair,
Yep.
all unsynchronized.
Dude, I'm on a Marth.
Yeah, no kidding. And then you're also talking about like when bands go into breakdowns and they're all doing that like bend over throw. It's just like...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, crap, walking it out.
For Cold Hearts, that's Scorpion Blood for us because it has that intro, and so we all know that when that like build up ends, we all like dip back, and then that first dun dun, we just go ham, and we all do it together.
But that synchronization, that's something that a lot of bands don't really think about anymore. But it's so great when you finally see it because it's something that's old school that doesn't exist really much these days anymore.
I love when bands have, you know, let's say it's one guitarist and a bass player, multiple guitar players and a bass player, and during a riff or a breakdown or a chorus, they all line up and they just bang their heads in unison. You know what? It's a quick little moment. You do that for a bar and you spread back out across the stage, but it's a cool moment. And getting to capture it is a ton of fun.
Yeah.
It's an iconic moment. And that's, I think, what showmanship is all about, creating those moments for your audience.
One of the ones that you were bringing about when you said you liked seeing the band in like a synchronized outfit kind of attire, one of my favorites to this day, and I still can't get over it, is Zahn all dressing up for the dad jokes.
Yeah, see, and like that's something you're gonna remember forever because they took that time.
What was it? It was just the blue jean shorts and
Blue
a white
jean
shirt.
Shorts,
New
white
Balances.
shirt,
Watches.
New Balances with high white socks.
Yeah.
But
it
see,
was
like
so
you said,
great.
You remember it, and it's so great because they took the time and they put in that effort. They're like, all right, guys, we're going as dads today. Like, we all got to have matching jean shorts, New
And then
Balances.
we got to tell different dad jokes in between songs in the set.
So, like, they put in that work into their performance for that night, and it was something different. And it was something that they planned. And, like, that speaks volumes to, like, just you owning your craft, too, for me. Like,
And you can take that as far as you want to. When you look at, you know, when you go to the very far extreme of that, you have bands like Gwar, Lordy,
Dead Animal Assembly Plant.
absolutely,
All those guys.
Yeah.
Toxic Zombie.
Toxic Zombie too, for sure. Even Lydia Can't Breathe.
Oh yeah,
The Convalescence.
I absolutely love Lydia Can't Breathe. Okay, so if you can see it behind me, I'm pretty sure you can. It's this poster right here. This is Lydia Can't Breathe. That's them in their Super Mario tour. So they all dressed up as different Mario characters. We've got Bowser, Luigi, Mario, and Toad. And then they did one for Mortal Kombat. They've done one for Reservoir Dogs. They've done one for Batman.
and see, that speaks volumes.
It's
to me.
awesome. Every tour they pick a different costume getup and they go out there and they own that shit. And it's so great.
I love it.
Not to keep talking about Cold Hearts, but for like when we come back, we have multiple different outfits that we've just been piecing together, and like some of them are different colors, but there's things that we've definitely
They're still all Adidas.
Yeah, that's true too. But it's not even a joke. It's definitely all Adidas. But there's things that
Every day he dreams about sex.
We've been doing to like prepare for that when it comes back, so that way our stage performance isn't the same thing that it was 2 years ago.
Right. And so like even with mine, like Captain Dad Bod, I'm already on version 2.0. I'm building 3.0. So like I go through costume changes. I go through, okay, we've done this and this. What's the next fun, goofy thing I can do to just change it up? So that way, after so many shows, I don't want people to see the same routine again. I want them to experience something different. So the first one was literally like a crop top with, you know, dad cut off shorts with high top boots and socks coming up over them and a fanny pack. And then 2.0 is like this onesie US flag swimsuit that I've cut out heart shaped over the nipples and the sides are cut out. And then I'll literally just keep losing more of the clothing as I'm going.
Dollar bill, y'all.
Dollar bill, y'all. And,
shout out to William Duvall Edwards.
and then thanks to, you know, my lovely son Trevor over here who bought me the thick shorts.
Still the
from
best
Bro
gift
Job.
I think I've ever given you.
I mean, I'll throw those on, and I mean, once I lose the American flag outfit, it will just be my thick booty shorts, and it's just people are just like, "What in the actual fuck is wrong with this
And
guy?"
it's something, and this is kind of, I think the main point that we want to drive home when we're talking about showmanship. It's something like your music can be great, your music can suck. It's what it is. That's your music, and if it's done right, it might not even be for the right person. But at the end of the day, we all remember these shows because of the show.
Right.
And that's why we're bringing up memories, and, you know, obviously we're all reminiscing right now because COVID. But the idea, I was like, man, I love that show. They did this, and that was so cool. And that's how we remember these shows more than others.
I remember it more than I remember the music.
Yeah.
And that's the crazy part for me is it's like once you've done something as a showman, the music's already been there. You're there watching the show probably because you know the music and you want to check it out, or you went to a show and they just happened to be on the bill.
Yeah.
If they just happened to be on the bill and you didn't know them, if they have that showmanship, bam, I'm not going to forget that band. I'm not going to forget.
No, absolutely.
I'm going to go find it. I'm going to go buy it. I'm going to be like, I want to be in this world now. And you're just going to follow it. And that's how you grab people. It's not about just the music anymore. It's about what you can give more than the music. And it sucks because they say video killed the radio star, you know, but
video changed the world on that.
and that's the thing is it's like it didn't kill the radio star. It made it to where they had to step up their game a little bit. And that's where bands like Kiss, I mean, you can say whatever you want about the band if you like them or not, but
We all know them.
yeah.
Iconic as fuck.
You can never forget either their look, their style, or their music.
Yeah.
Because one of the three things has at least been embedded in your brain at some point.
And even when the less over-the-top ones. Slash.
Yeah.
We all know Slash.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's got his signature look. He's got his signature style, and everybody knows who he is.
Yeah.
And it's not just because of his playing. We all can really pull up a mental image. As soon as he said Slash, he's there.
Yep.
I know exactly what he looks like.
It's iconic is what it is.
Exactly.
Another one I want to bring up too is it doesn't even necessarily have to be your stage performance or what you're wearing on stage. What about your merch booth? Something I remember very vividly that I loved to death, and it's not just because I love Katy Perry, but it is because I love Katy Perry.
Yeah, no, it is.
Oceano, 2012, Gray's Golden Line. We had an opportunity to play with them. Bro, they went ham with Katy Perry. Their sound check music was Katy Perry. They had a Katy Perry cardboard cutout at their merch booth. They had like fucking Katy Perry everything, okay? And that stuck with me forever. And I was like, fuck, I need a Katy Perry cutout at my merch booth now.
Right. No, one of my favorites for that too, and that was something I was going to transition into, was the merch booth as well. I bring them up all the time. Hemlock actually has this like wooden cutout, like crazy, almost like a circus entry kind of a thing where it's got like teeth on it, and
that's dope.
It's got their name on
That's
it,
really
and it's
dope.
built, and that's how they hang their merch from it as well. Little shit
I
like
like
that.
that. Yeah.
It draws people to your section.
Yeah.
And that is a form of showmanship. Don't consider that not to be.
Honestly,
you're drawing people in.
Yeah, it's the work you put in.
One of the simplest ones that I remember seeing was Steak Sauce Mustache selling steak sauce mustaches. literally just a bottle.
No.
Oh, sorry, I take that back. It was Zahn.
It was Zahn.
Zahn,
and I was going to
selling-
bring that
yeah.
up. Man, we love you, Zahn. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know why you guys don't come on here and just bullshit with us at some point. Do it.
Do it.
Do it for America. Or just do it because you want to.
Because you want to do it.
Just fucking do it. But it's one of those things that, yeah,
gonna
when
put
they
a
went to the
Nike
Steak
logo on
Sauce
this.
Mustache show, they didn't have any costumes or props or anything like that for that show, which, by the way, they are just badass performers as well, too. So do not think that we haven't considered that factor. Those guys
Yes.
fucking throw down.
Yes.
And they stand on their amps. They do all sorts of crazy
I
shit.
know.
I fucking love those guys.
I get so many fun photos from those guys every single time.
Exactly. But what they did is they were playing with Steak Sauce, and it was the first time I'd booked Steak Sauce, and they were super stoked about it. And they were, you got to book these guys. You got to. Okay, I'm on it. I trust you guys. I want to book who you're telling me I have to get. And they went around and they were selling Steak Sauce mustaches for like $1, and just they had A1 steak sauce, and they were just drizzling it on people's lips. And then there's pictures of David Huber going around too, and he's got it on his face and it's just dripping off of him while he's like just playing his music and going to town. And it was fucking
It looks intense as
amazing.
shit.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
There were so many kids with sauce on their face in that crowd. It sounds like the stupidest shit ever, but
I'm
it
just
is
imagining
fantastic.
But it's just like a little bit of adding of character. And you're right. It can be the merch booth. It can be it can be anything you want it to be, as long as you put the effort into it and highlight it yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just like we said, it was a bottle of A1 steak sauce, and they must have made $10 off it easy, So okay, the sauce is paid for,
Right, the
whatever.
Sauce, we covered the sauce cost, boss.
They cover, but they also it's the memory of it. I remember the photo of David playing with sauce on his face.
Yeah, I still have it somewhere.
Oh, I took it. I know.
Well, I'm saying I still have it somewhere, not you still have it somewhere. God, it's always about Jan.
Oh my God, I'm so
Johnny,
all right.
Jan.
I don't
I just whipped my neck in the worst of ways.
But anyway,
Is it time for your nap, Gramps?
Yeah.
the kid be sore today.
I'm so dead.
Oh, help me, Daddy.
This sounds bad.
I am so
It's all
done.
But it's one of those things. We just want people to realize that it's like it doesn't have to be spending hundreds or thousands of dollars on stuff. Now, granted, like bands like Dead Animal Assembly Plant, their costumes, their props, their everything are just amazing. We really need to get them on and talk to them about their stuff. But I mean, you can spend thousands of dollars on that if that's something you can do.
Yeah.
But hear us. We're saying, okay, go buy a fucking $3 bottle of steak sauce and just have some fun with it.
But and it doesn't even have to be something like steak sauce in particular, obviously.
Right.
It's also, spend, and we've hammered at this home a million times, and I'm going to do it again right now. Spend a practice figuring out what can you synchronize in your band. Mm-hmm. Can you all have long hair? Great. Can you whip it together at the same time? Can we figure out a part in the song where we want to do something stupid with that?
Can we just figure out some basic choreography going down on breakdowns or on parts that are important? Can you guys run past each other and be fun with each other? And that's something too. Showmanship doesn't have to be that you're doing something crazy. Sometimes it can just be you're showing me that you love what you're doing.
You know what? That punk rock apex jump when you're holding the guitar, it's fucking cool.
Oh, that's dope as fuck. I'll
The
never
posy
get sick
jump?
of that.
Mm-hmm.
The split leg kick kind of style kick. Yeah. I didn't know that's what it was called.
That's the technical name for it if we want to go down that road.
I just want to see a band get up there and do a kickflip while playing a guitar. I think that'd be dope.
Too bad Austin can't skate. Taylor skates, but he drums. That'd be so insane.
Right? I'd be like, dude, he just did a kickflip. Do a kickflip. Okay.
If I ever play if I play in a venue that I can get away with doing a kickflip at, I'm gonna do it now.
There you go. Do it. See? That's what you got to do. He's thinking about shit. And it's just a random thought that I just threw out. Try it once. If it doesn't work, cool. Bust your ass and fucking do it again.
Just start the fucking set out. Do a kickflip. have someone plan it in the crowd and just yell, do a kickflip. And then you bust a skateboard out of fucking nowhere and you do a kickflip.
Exactly. And then if you want to be those like hardcore and straight edge or dark and brooding, just think about what makes you guys feel that on stage.
And it's also, just figure out what you want to banter about while you're on stage. If you have some bandmates that you want to do some banter with, fucking great. I know bands that are local, national, international. It doesn't matter what level you're at. You can perform with your bandmates. They're right there.
Yeah. They're always going to be there every time.
And having that little personality. I know when I went to see Sabaton and they have a song where it's a pretty simple guitar part. So they act out an argument between their lead singer and their lead guitar player where he steals his guitar and he plays the guitar part for the next song.
That's dope. That's dope. One of my favorite bands from the Seattle area, for the likes of you, they're notorious for just moshing. And then this is something I don't recommend if you care about your like what you sound like, but they just mosh the shit out of each other on stage. Like Austin Dickey will straight kick the guitarist, or fucking the guitarist will come over and just fucking crowd kill Austin Dickey really quick. I'm like, damn, he really just took a hit right there. He's like, oh. But they literally will fucking mosh each other.
And again, it's just something you remember.
Yeah.
And it's like I said when I brought up Crowbot, too, as one of my bands that I really enjoy their stage performance.
Isn't that the dude who comes out of an egg?
Yeah. Well, it's the giant poo. But
Oh, crap.
But the guitarist and the bassist were just sitting there and like flicking picks at each other and catching them and doing that. You can practice that.
Yeah, that's dope.
Nothing's stopping you.
I love that type of stuff.
The guy taking the pick and flicking it behind his back and then grabbing it and then going back to it.
And-
or him like mocking his drummer. He's just like, look at how serious and into it he is. You know, he's just making fun of him,
And
pointing at him.
You know, simple shit too, like knowing where on the stage, if you're going to run, are you running in front of someone or behind someone?
Well, but the thing I was going to say too with Crowbot is the singer. Like I said, if you watch their live performances, watch what he does with a mic stand. That dude knows exactly how long his cord is. He swings it around. It came down by my face several times, and I was like, "Oh, that's going to hit me." No, he knows exactly how long that thing is. He knows how far he can go with it, and he.
But do that with
uses
your own
it.
cords and your own mic, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
Do not attempt with a wireless.
No.
Well, with a wireless, you wouldn't attempt it because there's no cord to pull back. But
That's
it's
kind of the joke. I think the joke's right here.
Yeah, jokes on me. I got it.
Sorry, Dad.
But it's one of those things where it's just like, think about what you can do. It doesn't have to cost money. It can be done just with you as a human being. No extras needed. You just figure out what you can do.
If you're going to do something with like the paint or the fake blood or something, though, I recommend getting with the promoter or the venue owner first.
Yes.
Most of those guys are pretty cool about it. So like one of my things is I do a lot of silly string. Most of them don't have a problem with it. They just ask, hey, can you like kind of
Clean
keep
up.
it focalized to the front so it's easy to clean up real fast? It's like,
Yeah.
and I'll get everything I can get off of stage super quick so it's not a mess for everybody else. No big deal.
Keep in mind the aftermath for sure,
Yes.
especially fake blood.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Fake blood's not too bad as long as you're not like spitting it into the crowd and stuff like that. And that is a thing for people that just like into people in the crowd. I'd probably not after COVID, but
Yeah, no, definitely probably not.
But poor as wood though it'll be a pain in the ass to get out of.
most of those places are painted
Or carpeted.
or carpeted.
Or-
Carpet that'd be the fucking worst. Yeah.
No.
Oh, trust me, those
not like
carpets are so
carpeted.
stained it doesn't
Yeah.
matter anyway, dude.
But I've noticed that
Sitting
most
next to the
venues
real blood.
switch from like actual carpeting to like floor mat type of shit. I don't know what the fuck it's called.
I don't either.
Crucify me in the comments.
It's all good. I'm too tired to carry either way. So. But no, so I mean, hopefully that helps you guys a little bit because it's not the fact that we're trying to tell you you suck. I don't ever
not
want
at all.
anyone to take it that way. But when I've seen the same thing after I've seen you perform 3 times, I lose interest in. It doesn't become, oh yeah, I'm going to go see this band. It's like, no, I actually kind of want to see these bands, but these guys will be there too. And I know I like their music, but you're going to be the band that I'm probably going to go outside and chat for a minute because I love the music and I can still hear it while I'm talking.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be paying as much attention.
Another thing as us as vocalists, I think that we're very similar to is we size up our crowd.
Yes.
We size up the venue we're in, we size up our crowd, and we think in our head beforehand, like, if I'm going to do crowd antics and interact with the crowd, let me judge what I can do. Like, if I'm playing at, for instance, the Tin Hat, and I see some dude over there who just got a fresh drink, I'm like, all right, so we're tuning right now. I see this guy right here just got a fresh drink. All right, I need you to slam that before we start playing music. And then the dude's on the spot. He's like, oh, I got to fucking slam this now. Like, I like doing
little
shit
things like that. Yeah, that can be fun.
If you're doing crowd antics.
What you're doing, and that's not necessarily just crowd antics, that's crowd interaction.
Yeah.
And crowd interaction can be a form of showmanship any day of the week.
Yes.
So
And for a
just
deathcore band, that's
know
big.
when you need to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like there are points, like I do it to a degree that's like, oh, I know I'm taking too long with this. But what I'm making sure of is that if people are laughing and going with what I'm going with, cool. But then I'll be like, all right, and then now this song, But
Yeah.
if they're not going with it, and you see that nobody really cares, move on to the song.
Yeah.
Don't burn your bridge by thinking you have to finish out the entirety of
the
what you
joke or
want
the
to do,
skit or whatever you have planned.
Right, because sometimes you're going to find crowds that don't like that, and they just like, no, we want the music, and they want to keep their stuff a little more.
Sometimes you can have a crowd who's heard it already.
That too.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's why I said it's like it's important for me to change up my Captain Dad Bod shtick, is because I don't want you seeing the same thing every time. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much about all I had to really cover with it.
Another thing that I like to see out of vocalists too is like yes, you are the vocalist and you are like the main forefront, but if your band is performing badass too, don't take that away from them.
No,
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
Like for instance, with your band, I love watching Brandon drum, and I love that he gets like his certain spots with like those hi-hat fills and shit like that. Don't subtract from your band if they're performers as well, because I see that happen a lot.
Yeah. No, actually, one of the things that I actually contemplated doing is that, and anyone's welcome to steal this if they want, but for outside gigs where it's like the lighting isn't necessarily on me and it's like daylight out, it doesn't really matter for the lighting. There are times where I'm like, Brandon, why don't you take the front center?
Yeah.
Let's set your drum kit up front and center. Like, own that shit, dude. So that way when we have like your little moments where it's just you, you're right there. Everybody sees it. There's nothing hidden in the back. You're not having to be that guy who's in the back corner like, oh, no one can see me. You know, it's like, let's have some fun with that.
And see, with
Admittedly, I
drummers,
do know a lot of drummers who are like, no, I'd like to be in the back. I don't want to be visible.
Right.
But like with drummers for like Brandon, for instance, the dude fucking shreds. That'd be so sick to see him up front and center stage. Like that's an idea.
And then we talked about it before too, like Pound. They said, we don't even want to be on stage. We want to be on the middle of the floor with the crowd. Here's our drum kit. Here's our amp. We just need an extension cord to here. We'll throw a rug over it. Let's go to town with everybody on the floor.
Yeah.
Now, granted, for the photographer, kind of sucks dick, but they weren't there for the photography. They were there to have fun with their crowd.
Yeah.
And honestly, given the way they were set up, like I was able to get some good shots out of it still.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's the thing. If you're in one place anyway, it's a lot easier for me to throw out a little flash on you.
Right.
If you're going to run around the venue with the rest of your band on stage, dude, my settings are for the stage.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything I have set up is to capture the stage because that's where I'm expecting the band to be. On the other hand, if you're going to go and perform for the crowd, perform to the crowd.
Right.
For sure.
And that's something I think is important too, is that I have him all the time at my shows.
Yeah.
It's one of those things to like help for the Papa Bear and Associates side of things. But those bands aren't there with the photographer.
No.
If they happen to get something cool out of it, sweet. But if they don't, they're like, we just came to perform and have a good time. So if it's not, hey, I've got a photographer here for a photo shoot and all that shit.
Right.
No biggie. Just have fun.
Yeah.
We'll catch what we catch and move forward.
And here's the thing. I'll typically talk to a band beforehand. I'll kind of look them up beforehand too. I'm like, okay, are these guys going to go into the crowd? I just ask them like, hey, can you play one song where you don't do that? And sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't. And that's what it is. At the end of the day, it's your performance.
Exactly.
And it's your memories that you're creating for people, how they're going to think of your band. That's what, at the end of the day, what matters most is your showmanship matters for the image of your band.
But also remember, too, that if a photographer is there, it's really cool to catch some of that shit on stage with the lights and all that, too. So if you can pull some of it off on stage, it's just going to help out your social media followings and your internet base and stuff of that nature, because then you can show the people who didn't make it, oh, fuck, I should have went. Look at how dope this looks.
Yep, for sure.
Just kind of one of them things.
Yeah. That's all I got.
So
Yeah,
showmanship, guys. I mean, think about it. Really, really analyze that aspect, because it will take your game so much higher. I cannot stress to you. The level of what I get from my band from when I was just the normal Joe schmuck wearing my normal get up and doing my thing, and it's like, I'm angry, to fuck it out the window, I'm a crazy asshole now who wears booty shorts by the end of the night, you know, and nothing else. It's night and day. People remember who the fuck I am. People remember my band. They hear our name. They're like, we got to go see that show. It makes a difference, and it really does help. Now, granted, I'm the goofier side. Think about how you can do it if you're more of a serious band. But just have fun with whatever you're doing and just think outside the box.
I've definitely, even though my band is more of like a serious, like, we're deathcore, heavy metal, scary motherfuckers, like, I've definitely wanted to have more fun with it, and I'm having more fun with it.
And you can still have serious moments and fun moments, too. It's not to say you can't marry the two.
Yeah.
You just got to know when and when not to. So, everybody good on the topic?
Yeah, I think we
All
covered
right.
so much in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, at this point, we are going to move forward Is it the red button?
It's the red button.
Are you sure it's not the blue button?
It's the red button.
Actually,
It's the
hang on.
red
What's
button.
that blue button do, though?
Anal seepage. That button?
Yeah.
My man.
I don't know why you guys keep asking for the button when anal seepage. Anal seepage. Anal seepage.
You just turned Canadian.
You just turned a Canadian. Speaking of which, I happen to be representing a Canadian band as we are sitting here today.
Oh
So-
my! Tell me about that.
Oh my, let me tell you how the Canadians keep
Dear
showing us
Blaine.
Americans that we don't got shit compared to them.
It's true.
God, you guys in Canada, I don't know what your deal is. I don't know if you're just like born with like instruments in your hands or what, or like after the doctor slaps your ass to make sure you scream, he's like, and you'll be a drummer, you'll be a bassist. Like, I don't know how this shit works, but straight up, all the bands that I've ever had to deal with from Canada and seen from Canada, just phenomenal. Another one
Nickelback.
for you guys, Blackwater Burial. Now, I've had them a couple times. Unfortunately, their first time here was one of like my most anxiety-inducing shows ever, because that was the one where I had the shock mic incident happening because I didn't know which one had the busted ground plug. Like, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm sorry, but they came back another
It
time.
happens.
It does, and they were cool about it. It sucked, but they got through their set. But then the second time they came back, I said, I found out where that issue was. It won't be a problem again. And they came back and they fucking slayed that night. Everybody and their damn dog was like, holy shit, dude. They just dropped a new album. It was fucking fantastic. But yeah, Blackwater Burial. They just on their Facebook page call themselves metal. I would call them more of a technical death metal.
I when we were listening to it earlier, because I'm obviously the genre guy, I was like, is this like blackened technical death metal? Because there's some definite blackened elements in here.
Yeah, it's really good shit. If you have not checked them out, please go check out Blackwater
Yes.
Burial. Phenomenal fucking band. They got some pretty sweet merch too. I actually really dig the color scheme on
No,
this.
yeah, when you came
yeah.
out with that on, I was like, that's a fucking dope tank top, dude.
Yeah.
Straight up.
I really like it a lot. They've got another one with their Fishman, what would you call it? Kraken, creature from the deep, Black Lagoon kind of a thing. And it was funny because I put them on a show with the Festering, and the Festering has one of the Fishman, Black Lagoon looking monster dude too. And I was like, oh, it's the Battle of the Fishmen.
Fishman.
Yeah, it was super cool. If you guys don't know Blackwater Burial, please go check them out. They're fantastic. I believe they've got 2 albums out right now. Obviously, they've been kind of quiet during the pandemic, but a lot of people have been, and I'm sure they're brewing up more fun for everybody when they get back to normal show season.
Sure.
So I don't know which way to go with this.
Let's go with Trevor.
No,
Let's
go
go.
ahead.
No,
He's
no,
got
no.
his shit
Let's
zipped
go with
up. I'm
Trevor.
scared.
Let's go with
So
Trevor.
let's go with Trevor. So because we're going to go with Trevor, and we know what he's doing, go
Trevor,
ahead.
who you repping, Trevor?
So,
who you repping?
I'm kind of a conceited motherfucker today. I'm repping my own band, Cold Hearts.
You know what? No. Here's the thing. Shut the fuck up about who you repping.
And if you don't know, that was a sound clip of Cold Hearts.
So I'm gonna just ruin
I
Jan's
am
day
repping
too,
the
because he's
Pendleton-
wearing Cold Hearts too.
Yeah.
And that's why his shirt was zipped up. We saw Trevor come out, and we were like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And then Jan's
was
like, "It's
gonna
gonna be
wear that
funny
one."
because I'm repping them too."
Yeah. So I'm repping the Pendleton hardcore band,
ahead.
Cold Hearts.
We're not hardcore. Get it right.
Don't yell in the mic.
That's why I stepped back.
This is why I turned the volumes down earlier.
Anyways, to continue with what he was saying, is Cold Hearts is a deathcore, beat
Sold the
down,
shade.
down tempo band from Pendleton, Oregon.
They punch cameras.
We've got 2 albums out. If you're in a pit to another band that we're playing with, yeah, they kick cameras, but it wasn't during our set. But yeah, no, we're just a little humble deathcore band from Pendleton,
Band from
Oregon.
every petting zoo in town.
Yeah, pretty much.
You have no idea how hard it was for me when you were like, "Yeah, we got that part in Scorpion Blood. You mean goat fucker?"
Yes, that is a joke too. So one night we're playing at the Tin Hat, and I was like, "Yeah, this next song is called Scorpion Blood." And Blaine in the background's like, "What's the name of this song?" And I was like, Scorpion Blood? And he's like, "Oh, goat fucker, sick." But yeah, no, we got 2 albums out on Spotify. A single we just released not too long ago, recorded by the lovely Zen Media. Shout out to Jakob and the boys for killing it on that. Got a few big things coming. Other than that, that's about it.
Jan, is there anything you'd like to add to that? Oh, God, help us all.
I was looking at your shirt too, and I was like, that looks like a cool art shirt, but I don't know what he's actually wearing.
So you're wearing the uterus one.
Yeah, I'm wearing
he is wearing the
Lonely emo boy one.
There you go. Yeah,
the 541
violence.
violence.
And then yours is the
Incantations album.
Incantations. There we go. I wanted to say violence is the answer, and I was like, that's
that was
not
the
right.
first album,
Right.
But yeah, no, we got a couple things everywhere. Check us out on Spotify, Deezer, iHeartRadio, Pandora, wherever the hell you want to stream it at or watch it at. It's there.
Shiggity shwa.
Anyway, like and subscribe.
Still cracks my ass up that you were able to hide that from me. I'm just like, oh, it's coming. That's why I was like, who do I go with?
I think it would have been better if you went with him first, because then I'd have been...
No, it was better that you went first. It was better that you went first.
Anyways, with that being said, if you hate us, if you love us, if you want to touch us, leave it in the comments below. You can find us all on social media. We got episode coming out on YouTube. Hopefully soon we'll be able to have our podcast on other streaming platforms.
Yeah.
Yawn. Also, if you like
You've only
this
had
episode,
4 weeks to prep for it.
oh, eat my ass. Anyway, if you really
Can I have a
like,
spoon?
if you
I
really
don't drink
like
water.
us,
I've got
please
that Fire Bee honey. It'll fucking just tingle a little
Jesus
bit.
candle. If you really like us, please do like us on this YouTube video. If you didn't like this episode, please press the dislike button twice. Thank you. What? That turns it back to normal.
We're fucking stupid.
Help me, Lord. I can't do it.
You wanted this.
I did want this. I wanted this so hard. So hard.
How'd you
Anyway,
know?
with that being said, thank you for joining us again on another episode of BPM where Bro Punch Me. Yeah. You've got like the softest love text.
I can't even reach you. Look at this. This is my arm.
It's like a puppy coming up and being
I don't actually
He's wearing a shirt that
hit
says
you.
541 Violence Crew, and it's just...
Fuck it. I don't even care anymore.
Thank you for joining us again on episode 15. I am Blaine, a.k.a. Papa Bear. To my left is Jan, the photographer.
I'm out.
And to my right is Trevor, the musician.
Hi.
And thank you for joining us again for another episode. Much love to you all. Good night. Papa Bear and Associates does not take any responsibility for sexual complications while listening to this program. Side effects have been known to include sweating, extended and unexpected erections, perked nipples, butt clenching, inflammation of the testicles, and anal seepage. Furthermore, if you are experiencing any of these symptoms, you should make sure to send us your non-graphic pictures for our viewing pleasure. Thank you and much love.